What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of the Tuesday Track Talk. We're back to full staff, full tilt this time around. I have finally joined the crowd. Tire changer Cam checking in.
Jackman Cal.
And Gasman Cam.
And again, yeah, we're back to full tilt. Coming off a great week of racing. No work to bother me this time around. So, yeah, back at it. So, ready for another great episode. We're gonna talk a lot about the Oktoberfest race weekend that we had up here. To wrap up a ton of seasons. We're gonna talk Cup Series at Roval, some playoff cutoffs. Got a ton of news to cover, and of course, we're gonna crown a Wheelman and look forward to the weekend coming up. So other than that, what's been going on, fellas, since we last reconvened with each other?
Well, I guess we can kind of start with the Badger Sports Report.
But you guys went off. I did listen to the podcast last week, and you guys went off a little bit.
Very underwhelming performance from the offense. The defense kept us in the game, but I don't know. Sports are very simple. People don't like to hear this sometimes. You just got to score more points than the other team. It's a very simple concept. And unfortunately, 7 points, ain't gonna do it.
Yeah. Along those lines, I felt like our defense is rock solid.
Gave us a chance at least.
Correct. And I felt like our offense played not to lose the game, and we were never really winning it outside of the first drive. So,
yeah,
is what it is. But, we're back to full staff here. For those that listen, like, comment, subscribe, all you guys. The tire changer is officially auditioning for his job back after last week's episode. It went so well. Most likes, most comments, most subscribes, most views, most shares. So he is officially on the hot seat, and we'll let the people decide if we let him back on the crew or not. So
I will say you are definitely
really looking forward to this episode.
Like,
you better bring the heat.
Listen to the conversation. You pretty much covered every point that I probably would have had. You would probably pick the right Wheelman of the week that I would have probably had.
Hey, that I did pull for you. I knew I was thinking of you, and that's how we got to that, because I knew the deciding vote was there in spirit, and it was if there's ever a Blaney up for a Wheelman, we know where our tire changer's allegiance lies. So
yeah,
no, this will be a good episode. Looking forward to talking some serious racing.
All right.
As we sit here on a Monday night to record on October 6th, if you're a Brewer fan, we're T-minus 56 minutes from them kicking off game 2 with the Cubbies. So if you follow along with MLB, I've watched more innings of baseball in the last 48 hours than I have in the last calendar year.
I suppose I might have to do that myself here.
So I've been too invested in this Yankees series, and all these Mets fans just absolutely chirping the Yankee guys. Oh my God.
I'm sure that's courtesy of Frank the Tank.
Oh, yep. So the Packers had a bye week, so they're back in action this weekend. They get the Bengals, another bad team, so we'll probably lose that one because we like to lose to bad teams. Beat the good ones, lose to the bad ones. So Christian Watson's practicing though, so that's promising.
Well, I can tell you I watched absolutely zero football all weekend. So I actually watched a race that I wasn't even at while I was at the racetrack too. So
you really didn't miss much, to be honest.
Fair enough.
So there you have it.
So did my fantasy team. So that's a whole other story. Well, should we talk about some Oktoberfest race weekend here?
Yeah, I would sure think so.
So let's start with the truckers, the Midwest Truck Series. They ran on Saturday night, and we talked about it, or I should say, you guys talked about it last weekend or last week. We've talked about it, coming out of Jefferson as well. We got a super tight points battle going on, so every lap counts, and it sure definitely paid off or counted when we got into this. Even started from qualifying where Brandon got fast time, gained a couple points on Griesbach. They traded spots and basically points in the heat races, and then it came down to the feature time, which Reichenberger had to kind of start a row behind Griesbach there and work his way up, but put on, as Midwest trucks typically do, put on some pretty damn good racing.
Yeah, they did. There's a few kind of cautions for mechanical gremlins. Again, we kind of talked about it a little bit when we talked yesterday, and this really the theme of the week really wasn't a whole lot of wrecking stuff, for the most part. And for them, there was a few like small dust ups, I would say, but more mechanical gremlins than really issues with wrecking stuff. So that's always good to see, especially knowing these guys kind of have a little bit of a tight turnaround for their championship race as well coming up on the 18th.
Which was a little concerning after Thursday night's races where we put 2 on their lids. So
Yeah. Yeah, the late model guys had a tough go of it the first night of the weekend. But yeah, it ultimately came down to that last restart.
oh yeah.
That
And
really is the storyline of the race, I would say.
we had a long run even before that.
Yep.
That set that up again. Kenneth Gremlins caught somebody and they had to throw that caution late in the race. Um, but it was it was one of those that the restarts are important. The high line was the line to be on the restarts here at Lacrosse. Um, but I mean, again, you could pull it off on the bottom line, 100%. You just had to have a car that was set up for it. And if I remember the conversation right, I know Brandon was a little tight um, there too, so he was definitely trying to get to that high line and at least work with what he had, especially when Griesbach was on that outside line for the restart, being that he was going to be behind that control car. And yeah, I didn't get to see the entire restart there just because of how, and you can kind of see from Kellen's, little background photo that he's got there. If he tilts his head the other way, kind of you can see obviously coming out of 4. So I'm standing at that point, but if you're sitting down, you kind of see tops of heads coming out of 4. So if you're
Yeah.
not leaning or trying to look for it, you're missing the restart. And sure enough, I
Oh my
come
hand.
out
Yeah,
of there
somewhere right up in there.
for those that are watching.
Yep, right up in there somewhere.
And then yeah, I see when they come by me, Nick Van had already gotten down to the bottom lane and heard the conversation, Brandon, and he wasn't happy, obviously.
Yeah, I kind of got chopped there on that restart, and they had 2 shots at that restart because the first one got called back. If I was correct, if I'm stating that correct.
Yep. Yep.
So they
Plain
were kind
views.
of just trying to get a jump on it, knowing momentum is going to be the name of the game for those guys, and unfortunately, a little bit of contact kind of influenced that restart to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
So and that would have been a big points day for Brandon to go ahead and win that feature. But ultimately he ends up finishing third. And most times you say, well, you're on the podium, that's a good day, but the guy he's chasing in the points championship ends up finishing second. So that being Griesbach.
Yep.
So yeah, that last restart kind of shuffled things a little bit for the championship contenders who it's amazing how when we talk about these championship battles that those two always find themselves bumper to bumper.
Yep.
It doesn't matter where we go, and I think we talk about it time in and time out when we mention these races. These guys are so close all the time, but they're just those two programs are just so tight that they always find themselves bumper to bumper. It doesn't matter if it's for 8th and 9th or 2nd and 1st or 4th and 5th, they are always bumper to bumper on track. So,
Yep. And I got to give credit where credit's due with Griesbach. He's had a hell of a year both in that truck and in the super late model.
yep.
He came back from being a couple positions behind Brandon to ultimately get behind him, and then 2, get around him. So
Yeah, kind of took advantage of that late restart with kind of the shuffle of the contact coming to the green.
the race ain't over till it's over mentality.
Yep, for sure. So, no, I mean, again, like I said, for the most part, very clean race. Really was no like hard wrecked stuff. And once that long green flag run was cool because you could see guys kind of move up to make passes on the outside, get back to the bottom.
Yep.
And there was two lanes that guys could race with and play around with momentum and kind of how they had trucks set up. So no, the long green flag run was good. So
Yep. Cam, I don't know if you had the opportunity to watch it all, but I let you chip in here if you had anything.
No, I did not get to see um, much of the truck race, unfortunately.
yeah. Yeah, that was when we were coming back from a wedding actually, when he was
Sure.
pilot. So I was track TV as the navigator. So
And live
Side,
updates.
yep.
yeah, side note, we were at a wedding and Kellen had a gray shirt on and he dropped a beef tip on his gray shirt. So
Stop it.
I mean, it's better than white, but
tire changer, I'll send you some pictures. Wow, that was a good time.
yikes.
So we got our buddy Beef Tip with us tonight.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Bad.
that's great. But yeah, so penultimate race for the Midwest Truck Series. We still got one more coming up here. The following race weekend at the Dells here, and not this coming Saturday, but the next. Um, again, big track. Both guys have run really good there. Um, it's literally going to come down to just who has the better day. So looking back,
Seven,
previous Dells
seven,
races.
yep. 7 points separate those two guys with
Yep.
updated points.
So Griesbach won the opener there, and then Aaron Moyer won the most recent visit at the Dells, which would have been on the Jim Sauter weekend.
Yep. Yeah, she's going to be fighting tooth and nail, and that's where again we've talked about it with these heat races. You can't just ride around and drop back and run 3 or 4 hard laps at the end of a heat race to get a read on it. It's you got to be pushing the go button from the time you unload in practice.
Yep.
So be a good points battle to watch all day because we are going to be literally counting single positions to decide this championship.
Absolutely.
Hey, that's all you can ask for, coming to a championship race like that, especially points racing like this. And this is kind of another conversation for another day when we talk about the changes of the playoff format for the Cup Series that might happen and this and that and the other. That's the thing is you really want these last races to really mean something, and these guys have all of that and more in what they could ask for, and having to go there and both of these guys are going to be good. It's going to be quite literally a matter of single positions to decide the title.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Looking forward to that one. Moving on here. We'll kind of obviously we had 4 days of racing over in lacrosse, but we're going to touch mainly on the big one, the Oktoberfest 200 here, which that was again referencing the photo, right? And the photo that Kellen's got behind him, courtesy of myself.
Yep.
I'll take credit where credit's due.
Yep.
I, Another, I think, a good way to sum this up, another classic Midwest Tour, Midwest race. Ended up starting everybody since we had technically 31. In reality, it was 29 cars
Yep.
for this one. And the drama started early for this one. The story of it, it was really cool. We could talk about it here a little bit. First off, Penn Sauter somehow puts down a smoker of a lap.
That thing was wicked up, and they said he had coming to the complete his first lap. He had the second fastest first lap of the field, so you knew he was going to have a shot. But right, like when you're chasing the 91, it's going to be tough. But that kid put down an absolute heater of a lap on lap 2.
Yeah, and I mean that was late in qualifying too.
Yeah, because they started at 15, 14 or 15 and went up.
Yep.
So he was probably in the last 6-8 cars to go out and take time. So to go out late and do that. And then the old Ultimate Challenge comes in and they say, let's see if we can gather up some money for this.
Well, so it was initially, if I got to remember this right, I think it was initially like a 1,000. It was a
Yep.
1,000 to do it. And he took it right out of the gate,
Yep.
right? But then people heard about this, and I don't know if it's because it was Penn, just because it wasn't Majeski that was doing this ultimate challenge.
Oh,
Like, I don't know what happened. We started at 1,000, and McCarnes was making his trips up to the booth, which they even said on the PA system, and I don't know if the broadcast touched on it all, but on the PA system, they said if McCarnes is coming up to the booth, either we're in trouble or he's got some big news.
well, it was a little bit of both.
So he comes up, he says, well, thanks to some very generous sponsors and donations, this, that, and the other, that sucker kept growing. It was 5,000, then it was 7,500, and then it was 10,000. I think before we left, it was 25,000
Yep.
to start from the back and potentially win this race for the bonus.
It
Got up in the morning, post came out up to 35.
finished at the all. It finished at 40.
Yep.
That would have been that's on top of and for those that are listening and kind of getting a grasp of what we're mentioning here, that would be in addition to the purse for winning the race.
Which was 10K to win. So he could have
So
walked away with 50K.
that had been a $50,000 payday had that young gun found a way to win that race. And boy, was he on the move early.
Yeah. Um, side note here. McCarnes. So he was walking around first off Saturday, wouldn't recognize him if you didn't know who he was, right? You've seen him walking around.
Yep.
Um, he had an orange Midwest Tour hat on.
Yep.
I think it's the only orange hat that's in existence because I've never seen anybody else have an orange Midwest Tour hat.
Me.
Anyways, he says if you're looking to donate to this ultimate challenge, you can find me at the El Bandino bar at the beginning of turn one, serving up drinks, which classic cards, I would say.
Yep.
And then after the races, you can find him in the exhibition hall. So he's a man of the people.
Yep.
Don't know how much he partook, but he's a man of the people.
No, absolutely.
So
What better
gather
way to
money
get some?
from
Yeah, what better to get some donations and some people to go in than the people that aren't maybe don't have the most clear state of mind.
Yep.
Hey, you hear about this? It's like the 50-50, but for the drivers.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was
Yeah.
conveniently next to the 50-50 stand.
Yep.
So, um, Don's Auto put up a ton of money, and anybody that knows the Midwest racing scene, Don's Auto is pretty much the guy when it comes to sponsoring solders.
Yep. He's
And the
been with
biggest
Johnny
solders you think of
forever.
them. Yep.
If it was a solder, Don's have been with them for a long time. So
Yep. So I mean, they put
um,
up a ton of money.
yep.
But of course, that was the one storyline coming into it. On top of, can Summers get his third in a row? Can Johnson
Oh.
his first full time season? Can anybody in um, to this event as well?
Yeah. So there's a lot of storylines going into that race. Not only from you don't need to win the war or you don't need to win the battle, but you can win the war. And there was just a lot going on. And again, same thing as we just mentioned with the truck series. They are counting single positions, and you got Johnson and Summers running within 3 spots of each other. And we were getting live updates on the broadcast, even from from a viewer standpoint of all right, if the race ended right now, it'd be Summers by 2, it'd be Johnson by 1. They were very, very good about the live updates in terms of where guys were running on track at certain points.
Which is good. Obviously, I missed out on that being at the track, but we had a general idea just based on how the race was going on kind of how that champion turn battle was going. And obviously, me listening to the radios, I heard that as well. Fair again, Midwest Tour race, super clean. Um, Fair share mechanical gremlins. Long race like this at Lacrosse will definitely do that.
Yep.
And really, we only had one wreck, a single car wreck, and that was Fredrickson from third, and he hit that wall a ton.
Yeah, that was, it was going into 3, and, you kind of set the car down to get ready to go into 3, and that baby took a hard right into the fence. I mean, that baby, it tore the right side off of that race car hard.
Which
good to see him crawl out from that hit.
Yes, 100%. Which I know I sent you guys the video of
Yeah.
that in car that he had, and if you haven't seen it, go to his TikTok page. He's got the
Yep.
video posted on there. And then on his Facebook page, and I sent you the photo as well. He had that photo of that right side just
Yep.
cleaned off.
Yep. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was a
that
hard
was,
hit. Yeah.
one of the harder hits that we've seen in super late model racing. And these young boys, there's no safer barrier at lacrosse.
No.
So you can see in that video, once she goes right, take the old hands off the wheel and you're just along for the ride.
Yep.
And then outside of that, I mean, absolutely obliterated the right side of that car. Thank the Lord. Guys had their eyes wide open when he came back down the track, because there was
Man.
he could have got a good lick on the driver's side door too, and taken out some heavy hitters as well. So hate to see that for a car that was so fast.
Yeah.
But thankful that it was ended up only being one car.
And I had just looked down. I think Kellen, I was actually about to text you an update. Um,
Yep.
and I looked down, I had just unlocked my phone, and I just hear, oh, I look up. I looked into one first because that's where I obviously straight up. I saw everybody pointing over into four, so I look into four. Freddie had already hit the wall and he was starting to roll down.
Yep.
And I knew it rattled his cage a little bit because there was no brake either
Yep.
with the way that he was rolling down.
Yeah, and then on top of that, he came down right in front of
The field.
in front of the field, in front of Johnson, who was racing for a championship. So it was just, you talk about guys having their head on a swivel. That was one car that got through there unscathed, but yeah, it's worst case scenario for the 5 car there too, potentially.
And that's one of those you were in a groove of the run, you're just kind of not saving tire, but you're just taking advantage of times as you get them type of thing. So everybody's not on 100% on guard, even
Yep.
Freddie too. So when stuff like that happens, it just happens that much quicker.
Yep. For sure. And that ultimately really was the only wreck of the day.
Yep.
And really took out a fast race car. He led some laps.
Yeah. Yeah. Led early.
He led early, so that that was a car that was going to have a say at least in the podium for sure.
And who's to say after an adjustment that maybe they're sitting pretty.
Yep, for sure. So that was a fast car that just, again, biomechanical gremlin, just that was the end of the day for the 36.
Obviously the other part to the storyline was Johnson and Summers and keeping an eye on that championship battle. Summers, if I remember right, started ahead of Johnson in that race.
Yep.
So obviously got the advantage right out of the gate. I tried my best to kind of swap back and forth between the two to kind of get updates on them. And the one thing that really came up, and they mentioned this on the pre-race show too. Not a lot of track time for Summers. He did a lot of practice, some mock qualifying runs, participated in qualifying on Friday, pulled out Friday night. Whereas Johnson was doing, when there was a super late on track, he was on track.
Yep.
Why do you guys think that is?
Same equipment.
Yeah,
Keeping something from breaking on a car. I
yeah,
mean,
there's a multitude of reasons you could go with that. Um, and you're looking at the history of it. Last year, we wrecked a lot of stuff in that trickle 99 in turn 1.
yep.
They wrecked 4 or 5 cars in that race. So, when you look at the history of it, and we're only going a year back, but there was a big wreck that eliminated a handful of cars that guys were spending overnight trying to rebuild cars just to get ready to run the 200. So when you look at it that way, you kind of got to play it safe a little bit, knowing you are the point leader at that given point. But yeah, I mean, it's all kind of into a strategy, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that was their plan the whole weekend when they came in. I think that's what they knew they were going to do.
And I don't remember this, but Jim had brought it up to us that he did the same thing last year too.
Yep.
Um,
So
I, I don't know how big of a factor this was, but all the practice time throughout the entire weekend and qualifying for basically both days was all under the sunshine.
yep.
Right at race time, and all those races that are at night that you're running.
Yep.
I always say that any track time is good track time because you're gonna learn something, but you're racing those days in completely different weather than what you're gonna race on Sunday.
Well, and let's not hide the fact that this weekend up here for this race, traditionally speaking, this is a cooler event,
Yep,
even in the middle of the day. It was hot this weekend. So
hot.
a lot of guys maybe had set up stuff that they brought that running on tradition when you're running in a little bit cooler temperatures that the heat just wasn't conducive to what their baselines were in terms of just the conditions themselves. So yeah, when you mention that, you're racing at night, qualifying and racing in the middle of the day for the 200, but just the temperature alone in itself, and Johnson mentioned it in his interview that it was just so hot that you're kind of, once you got heat in those tires, you were just kind of sliding around trying to make speed, and it was whoever could hang on the longest was going to be there.
Yep.
So,
And ultimately that's what we saw play out. Johnson just bided his time, picked his way through the field, took advantage of the opportunities that he was given, knew that he didn't need to necessarily win the race,
yep,
as it played out in order to get the championship. Where Summers just honestly the only way he could phrase it is struggled.
yeah. Yeah, it wasn't what you would expect from Summers, knowing that he's not only won that event but won back-to-back titles. So, yeah, who knows? There's a lot of variables that can go into it in terms of weather, cars, anything, tires.
Yep.
So, yeah, who knows? But
Couple other storylines that obviously that comes out of this. Majeski, I mean, dominates this race again. Um, Again, bided his time, took advantage of the opportunities that he was given to pass cars, and once he got the lead, he was gone, like he always does. And he doesn't have to do it from the rear this time either.
yeah, for real. They were talking on the broadcast in this event alone. He's led over 600 laps.
Well, and this is right in Noodleman's backyard too, so
Yep.
Did they say that was
Oh,
his fifth win?
yep. His fifth
yep.
title event.
It should tie him with Shear for the most.
Yep. Yep. Sure did. And the
And
crazy connection to that with Joe Shear's son, Junior, being his crew chief on the truck side,
Yep.
makes that part even that much cooler for him.
Yep.
and now I don't, not to go a little bit off subject here, but like I actually, when they said like he won his fifth on Saturday on the broadcast, like I know we sit here and it gets a little bit monotonous talking about, oh, Majeski, yep, he's in the race and he wins it. Like I actually sat there and thought, I'm like, we are literally witnessing greatness.
Oh,
Like this dude is what, 30 years old at the oldest, and dude is accomplishing what most people did in a lifetime, and he's 30, 29,
He ain't
and like
going
I
anywhere,
just,
to put it lightly.
31.
and I 31 years old, and like I just cannot think, but like we're gonna sit here and look back like in 10, 15 years, and like how many more of these do you think he can rack up? And it's just gonna be like we're gonna look back in like 10 to 15 years, and he's still gonna be doing it, but we're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this dude is on just a legendary run. Like he could go on and do stuff that nobody will ever touch again, to be
Yep.
honest with you.
Well, so I'm looking on the most trusted source on the internet, Wikipedia. Um,
Oh, love that.
and obviously like underneath his name and everything, they got like the accomplishments list and everything like that. And my computer, it's almost from the top to the bottom as far as my computer monitor goes here.
Yep.
I'm not going to list them because I'll be going on forever. But I mean,
Well,
yeah, there's
he's got high 30s just alone in Midwest Tour wins.
Correct. Well, he's got the most, obviously.
Right. I
Um,
think it was like 36 or 37, I think.
yeah. And then obviously, like, what race hasn't he won in reality, right? So,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the funny part is we for us, the three of us, we always like to make race picks for these big ones, and there's a reason the 91 gets taken off the board
yeah.
because the first pick is going to take the 91, and why wouldn't you? So when we draw picks, we kind of have a running rule that the 91 isn't on the board, and then it's basically the field against the 91. Um, but yeah, it's just when that car unloads, it's everyone's going to chase them.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, I just literally sat there and I thought, and after I heard them say like, oh yeah, this is his fifth tying, um, Sheer, whomever it was, I'm just like, this dude he's our age, and I'm just like sitting here going like, I mean, if he does it as long as Rich Bickle, I mean, this guy is gonna, I don't know,
And
it,
let's
it,
not forget,
it
dude's
it's
fighting for
ins-
another truck championship.
it's actually insane to think about. To be honest with you, like he could do this for another 20 years
Yeah.
at least.
that's why I said he ain't going anywhere. I can promise you that.
Wrap
That
your brain around that.
yeah, that band is marching to the beat of their own drum, and there ain't letting anyone get in the way of it either.
Nope. The only
So
the only thing getting in the way of him doing more in that super late is the NASCAR stuff.
yep.
And you know what? I think from our standpoint, having a Wisconsin boy in the NASCAR scene doing good, I don't think we necessarily complain.
No, and for us, the cool part is the truck series allows him to come back and do this a lot. And that's why I think he enjoys the truck series part of it. Yeah, he's competitive there as well. Don't He's the reigning truck series champion for God's sakes. But he gets to come back and do this, and we quite literally get to watch it happen in person.
Yep.
So now skipping ahead here a beat, let's talk about Johnson winning his fourth Midwest Tour title.
Yep.
That's no easy feat in itself. One, to win one Midwest Tour title alone. There's guys that have been chasing the series for a long time that haven't won a title. Johnson had let's not hide it, a very rough middle of the summer.
No, 100%.
Motors that he couldn't catch a break, he just couldn't finish races, and he just hung around and he did the points racing thing. If I got a fifth place car, I'm bringing home fifth. Whatever he had, he being the veteran that he is, he found his way to his fourth Midwest Tour title.
And I hate to say it, but I think that those gremlins started shortly after we said that the dude was unbeatable.
We always do that.
It's either we kickstart something or we absolutely destroy something.
We give it the old commentator's curse. It's like he rolls out and it's like, yep, he's 14 for 14 on field goals for this year. And
Hits the
heads
crop.
up, that's wide left.
Yep.
Yeah. So no, I mean that's cool to see that. That's again, same thing. That is a hell of a feat to just win the tour title four times, let alone once. So
And let's keep in mind though too, like I said, we still got one more coming up here yet. Dude could very well win the Alive for Five championship as well.
he's got a good crack at that. He's got a 41 point advantage going into the final race at the Dells too. So he's got a crack to win probably two of the bigger-ish Midwest super late model titles.
Yep.
When you look at the ones you look at, it's the Midwest Tour, it's Alive for Five,
Yep.
Tundra, and the Red, White, and Blue.
And that's short of obviously track championships as well.
Correct. Which following the tour kind of limits you to run a track
Yeah.
for a title, but um, he's got a chance to win Alive for Five and the Midwest Tour, coming off of a year that he did not spend hardly any time in the car.
Correct.
He came back and won. I believe he won the Halloween last year. I'm
Yeah.
100% certain he won the Halloween last year, and that was kind of like his. We're getting back into the car again, and with his health issues a little bit there, that he he came back and got it done, and it's like, okay, he missed some seat time across the course of summer, but the dude can still race.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
that's
like
good.
riding a bike for some people.
Oh, dude.
You just get right back in it. It's like you never left.
Yep.
I mean, again, he's obviously a certified wheelman. Not sure if he's in the running for wheelman of the week, but no pun
No,
intended.
I don't.
Um, but I mean, again, guy that's built a fantastic notebook and one of the best to do it in the Midwest. So, when he takes a year off and isn't in the seat a ton, again, as successful as he's been, it's like he comes back and it's some guys just got it, some don't. It's like he never left. Um,
Um, and he reclaims the top spot in the rolling rankings for Super Late
Yep.
Model rankings,
Rightfully so.
which is which has 8 of the top 10 being Midwest guys.
Yep. For sure. Yeah, I don't know. Hell of an event, hell of a weekend. We've said it time and time again. If you want to go watch 3 days of racing and you want to sit and watch race cars for 10 or 12 hours a day, pretty damn good place to go do it.
Sign me up.
Thursday to Sunday, you can watch cars on track from basically 9:30 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night.
And if you want your fill of polka music, the PA plays nothing but polka music when there's when you can hear stuff.
Yep. Yep.
So,
So I don't know. Incredible weekend, to be honest.
I think I'm gonna throw 3 drivers in here that I think we got to talk about here. We talk about guys that just good runs, right? I'm gonna kind of work from the bottom of this list up, and we can go from there. First one, Brock Heinrich. Um, just kind of hung around, working man's day of
Yep.
sorts. Um, obviously tough field, hasn't run a whole lot this year. Not a lot of experience at lacrosse. Just coming out
Yep.
of one piece, solid day.
Yep. Wow. One of 12 cars to finish on the lead lap?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Um, next one, I think this was a surprise to me when I saw him roll on the track. I think it was a surprise to you when I texted you his name, Nick Panitsky.
Yeah. Dirt super late model guy decided to play on the asphalt.
Yep.
Yeah.
He tell you what, didn't look like he had any rusts hopping in that super light model.
No, and getting into a Dassault prepared race car, he was going to be in a seat that had decent equipment for sure. So it was just going to be a matter of how fast could he reacclimate to the asphalt scene. And dude ran in the top 10 basically the entire day.
Yep, ended up finishing 7th, and then last one here, and I think the one that we really want to cover here. Finally think we got that monkey off his back. Ryan Farrell.
Yeah. I mean, it all started in qualifying. Put down an absolute rocket of a lap.
Yep.
Locked himself in and knew he was going to be fast. But again, very much a workmanlike day. Just raced around that 3 to 6, 8 range pretty much the entire day.
Yep.
Um, and we've mentioned it too. He's one that's had mechanical gremlins as well throughout the years. So to run the 200 and finish the 200 and be fast on top of that, coming down the stretch of the season just kind of gives you that momentum going into the off season as well.
Um, in typical Ryan fashion, he's really good for those one-liners, talking in the pits with him and stuff like that. He said it's nice to be running with, around those guys and not being a lap behind.
Yeah, I mean, at one point he was racing with Johnson and Majeski, and he was racing with the guy, all the big dogs. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it
He
was
was
just
he was ready for if Majeski and Morrissey, them two guys, did something.
he was ready to pounce.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good to see. Glad
So
for
he
him.
he was in good spirits. Coming off, he had a broken spindle on Friday night too.
Yep.
So was able
Yeah,
to fix
sure.
that and obviously that gained him the speed that he needed. He said the only thing he'd probably do different now is that he probably needs a helmet fan, which fun fact, doesn't run a helmet fan. Um, but he said he was hot on Sunday, and that kind of got in his mind a little bit. So without that in there, boy gets a little more confident.
Yeah, for sure.
What night was he in the booth?
Thursday
That
night.
was, yep.
Was that Thursday night?
Yep.
Dude, I mean, we had him on the podcast and just a grand old time on the podcast. Dude, same thing in the booth.
Oh,
That guy hits the ball off. He hits the cover off the ball. Fun to listen to. Gives you good insight. Um, got some good jokes here and there. But yeah, he just does a bang up job from the
I
booth as well. So
I did like his comment, and I might throw him under the bus a little bit on this, so sorry if I do. But his comment about Dalton Zier, he won the Knights race last year, and the Dean Strom said that Zier actually put the helmet on in Victory Lane, the Knights helmet on, and Farrell goes, "Oh, he actually got it off too." Ooh, zing.
Yep. Oh man, that's funny. Oh God, yeah.
man, that's the last time he'll ever tell us anything.
Oh man.
But no, he said he learned a lot. They're confident going in the Dells.
Yep. Yeah. Last asphalt race of the year coming up here on October 18th.
Yep. So, real quick, hopefully I can run through the top 10 here before I cut out on this. So I'm gonna try and do this quick. Obviously, Majeski wins that one. Morrissey, strong weekend for him. Trickle 99 winner. Comes in second. Casey Johnson third. Michael Hind, another solid effort. A third last year and a fourth this year. Penn Sauter comes from fifth, starting in the back. Ryan Farrell sixth. Nick Panitsky seventh. Dalton Zier eighth. Gabe Summers finished ninth. Derek Kraus, again, another kind of charge through the field, finished 10th.
Yep. For sure. Yeah. Great weekend. So
Kind of a sad weekend. That means
oh boy. Well, yeah. I we lost you there for a second, but
no, I was gonna say sad end to the season. Well, sad thing as well, because that means the season's winding down.
yeah, for sure. I was gonna fill in the blank on that for you.
Yep.
So yep, absolutely. Well, it's one of those events you got to get there if you have not been.
Yes.
So yeah.
Cool. Any final thoughts here with Oktoberfest before we move on to some cup racing?
No, good weekend.
No, like I said, I've never been to that one, so watch it on TV enough. Actually drove past it the week before, so got to get down there for one of these.
Maybe we could twist your arm enough next year that you can go.
Yep.
I mean, would have been a solid option. I was in the area on Thursday, but a wedding on Saturday, just a weekend
Yep.
like that, just but dang it.
Nope, fair enough. Cool. So let's move over into the cup race from the Roval. And obviously, I was otherwise preoccupied um, on Sunday, so I'm going to rely heavily on you guys for this one. But um, obviously, this was the playoff cutoff race. And at least from the point that I tuned on to the radio, the gist of it was that SVG was as good as he is on a road course. And then obviously I got to hear the end with Ross and Denny Hamlin and all the shenanigans that happened there. But I will let you guys start the conversation.
Tires meant a ton. Yeah, guys. I mean, even Logano stopped super late in the race. You're like, man, it seems late to stop for tires, but tires meant speed. So if you had fresh rubber, that was going to help you out. So a lot of strategy in terms of you're going to split the stage, you're going to run thirds, you're going to go. There was strategy was all over the place in terms of what they were doing for strategy and tires. But Bell and Larson gave SVG a run for his money. Larson led some laps. Bell was there. And then SVG kind of just slowly worked his way through there. Talking about some playoff guys, Cindric never really got a chance. He got housed by the 77, broke a rear toe link. That was the end of his day. Speaking of the 77, he cleaned out the 8 on the first lap. So the treacherous Kyle Busch here continues when he goes down in 1 and gets just squared up the wall nose first because he got moved.
We'll have some news on him in the news section as well.
Yeah, from last week even too. So, I mean, in reality, what it came down to is you were looking at the cut line and Reddick qualified on the pole, but just couldn't really hang on to the speed. So in reality, it turned into counting points with Cindric being out, and then Bubba was decent, but just not enough to win the race. So ultimately, it came down to Ross and Logano in terms of just counting points, and that ticker was position by position, +3, -1, 0, even. If they tied, this is what happens. It was just a back and forth in terms of just counting points with those guys. Again, kind of somewhat racing around each other to a certain degree too. So it really turned into the focus of just those guys counting points, single positions. So, and then it got to the end and pretty much hell broke loose, I guess is the best way to describe that. Really with Chastain needing 1 point, and then he goes sailing by there, and he kind of got, not even kind of got cleaned out. Ultimately, the two of them spun around, and Logano was within striking range to sneak by. So,
And yeah, I think obviously, you come to this event, this track at this time of the year, at this point in the season, this is what you asked for from this playoff format. It delivered. And I think is it Bianchi, said it on the teardown, like, had we not had this playoff format, that race would have been a snoozer. Nobody would have been really like, when SVG's got a 17-second lead.
And I think to that point, you wouldn't have gotten to the aggression that obviously you saw both in the strategy and then in later part of that race, as we'll talk about here in a bit as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess you could argue, point, I don't know, however you feel. Yeah, that could be a point for this playoff format, as that feels like that's a evolving and constant topic is the playoff format nowadays. Moved a little bit on from lawsuits. Well, a little, not really. But now we got lawsuits and playoff formats. So, yeah, you just, I don't know. Within that, I mean, then it gets into, we can go back and forth about this, is, Chastain had the old Hail Melon at Martinsville a couple years ago. Say he would have pulled this off. Does this playoff format, had he spun Hamlin like that and drove past him, it just gets into this whole conversation of fair or foul and what is allowed. And to be honest, I don't like towing that line, because had he wrecked Hamlin and got past, like, that would be, we'd be having quite a conversation right now.
I was going to say, so 2 points for that. One, coincidentally enough, Chastain and Hamlin, that was the exact same scenario that kind of played out for the Hail Melon, because it eliminated Hamlin from that playoffs that year. So just
yep.
Funny coincidence. But then two, like I think we all saw the conversations afterwards, and obviously that was one of the points here too, where Hamlin said he didn't blame him. actually said he kind of blames, he said his spotter, but I think it really it's the entire crew, not just his spotter, to where he needed to be aware of the situation, which now you have the conversation of, oh, is he giving Chastain points in order, the whole manipulation thing and get down that rabbit hole. So there's no win, no matter how you look at it, other than the only way you could get a non-controversial story out of it would have been if just Chastain did nothing.
Well, and that's the other part is if you listen to the radio of the 48, he was chasing the one, and on the last lap, he was continuously told, take care of your tires, take care of your tires, take care of your tires. So you have that conversation. But in reality, so you think a big picture here. Listening to Actions Detrimental a little bit with Denny and him hosting that conversation is in reality, right? Like, does having the one get through make it tougher going through the playoffs? Yes. Does the 22 get through make it tougher at Phoenix for the championship race? Made it significantly harder because he will be really good there.
Yep.
So either way you look at it, again, we talk about the best of the best in stock car racing. There's no easy way around it, but it's a pick your poison situation. What do you want to happen?
And again, if you're picking, again, in Hamlin's situation, if you're letting off to let Chastain win because that's what the situation is, boy, that opens up a whole nother can of worms, especially coming off of what happened last year at Martinsville or 2 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah. It just seems like Denny this round of 12 just could not get away from the controversy of any of these finishes.
No, he was involved in every single one of them.
Like the Bubba situation to now this, like the dude was quite literally wrapped up in the entirety
Which
of determining the round.
which also insane that Bubba and Denny didn't talk about that until Saturday.
I don't love that from a car owner.
Right. Like, hey, Tuesday, let's just a one-on-one conversation, behind closed doors. Let's talk about this.
Yep.
Does Bubba need to be the one to reach out in that situation? I don't think so. Ultimately, he did,
Yep.
but and again,
Yeah.
ultimately that took out, ultimately both. Could have been maybe one, but ultimately it was both. This race did.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and the thing about it is that's 2 weeks in a row that Denny's been involved in something helping the 22. Having Bubba win that race, that knocks Joey behind the cut line, and that changes that conversation in a hurry. Now, this one I'm not going to put on Denny at all, but he happened to be the one car that made the pass and got housed by the one.
he's
Well, what does that do? It lets the 22 through.
he's guilty by association.
Yeah. Wrong place, wrong time to a certain degree.
Yep.
And if he really was not relayed that information from his spotter, that's not good.
But is that information that's needed as well? He's running his own race. The playoffs are going to play out as they will, right? Is
Yeah,
this
it's just
information that he should be getting?
I was just kind of worried about the whole run and hide, knowing and it's not the 11 team's job to keep track of where the one is, but to a certain degree, knowing it's a cut race, you got to know that the last lap, last corner, anything can happen.
And I think he was more disappointed in the fact that he wasn't told that, so he just wasn't, so he knew why he was getting dumped initially, right?
Correct.
But it this isn't the championship race. It's an important race, 100%. It's a championship saving race, but it isn't the championship race, right?
Yeah, and he handled it well, and he said he didn't blame Ross for doing what he did. I mean, I think what he said was fair. I don't think he didn't take any of the blame for it, and he didn't blame Ross for it, and he just wished he had known more about the situation.
Yep. And then obviously, I think we both heard Ross's interview basically afterwards. I heard the radio version. You, I'm assuming, saw the TV version. And
Yeah,
I mean, for lack of a better term, he knew exactly what he was doing, both in that situation, but also just that he shot himself in the foot.
yeah. They asked him, "So, what were your thoughts on the day?" And he goes, "I'd like to just start over." With the end of pit road deal where he had to stop and back up and lost a bunch of track position there, and then the speeding penalty and those two penalties ultimately eliminated him from the playoffs.
Yep.
So
I think the old case of, pressure can make diamonds, but pressure can also crack an egg. This format has the ability to do that. And I don't know, going into the weekend, like, he knows he's got to have a perfect day. And I'm not saying that, pressure was the reason, but like you said, we've talked about it before. Just don't beat yourself. Like,
yep.
You can't have the mistakes.
don't do some, yeah. And he ended up beating himself. And I don't know. Buddy had the microphone for a long time after that race, and he was saying just, I don't know. Did he write his own firing? Like, I don't know. I definitely at that point of the race, like at that point in my life, like I would not want to get in front of the microphone and talk for 5 minutes, but Buddy was just he was
But
leaving it all out there.
not to totally throw him under the bus or, try and keep him from throwing him under the bus, but at least the guy owned up to his mistakes. He knew it
Oh,
was him.
rightfully so.
He knew that pit crew did exactly what they needed to do. They came with a car that was capable enough to get them in the next round of the playoffs. Like,
Yep.
all the boxes were checked except from the driver's standpoint, and he owned
Oh,
up to it.
sure. And ultimately, people hate this sometimes. This was the 22 doing what the 22 does in the playoffs. Just weasels his way through,
Yep.
one round at a time. And we'll see. So, thinking ahead a little bit here, let's look at the playoff standings just for a quick second in terms of the next round. So, he's obviously the deepest, 24 to the bad. The other three cars below the cutoff with him is going to be Bell 4 below, Elliott 14, and Chase Briscoe 14.
So, as intriguing as that bottom is, what's just as intriguing is that top four. Denny Hamlin is position number one in that top four. He's only got an 8-point buffer.
The top 8 cars are only 8 points to the good collectively.
Correct.
8,
So
6, 4, 4.
that's you. Those four can't have a bad race just as much as those guys below the line as well.
Correct.
Because that could very easily flip flop in a completely opposite direction.
Well, and then so let's even go as far to say let's look at the 3 tracks in this round. Vegas, gonna have to be fast.
Yep.
Your pretty typical mile and a half oval.
This is going to be the race that everybody wants circled because this gives everybody their best chance.
And then you go to Talladega, complete shot in the dark. Good luck.
Yep.
And then you go to Martinsville for what's going to be probably a round of bumper cars.
And not to toot my own horn, but a race that Blaney has won 2 years in a row.
Correct.
So now let's talk about this too. Logano won this Vegas race last year.
He sure did.
After he get weaseled into it from a Bowman DQ.
Dude, that was that crazy fuel mileage race. He went a gajillion miles further than everyone else, and no one can still to this day figure out what they did.
And that was one of the first times that we heard Bell absolutely freak out on the radio too.
He had an absolute meltdown.
But look at what it turned out to be, right?
Yeah. It turned into a championship, let's be honest.
So that's huge. What I hate to jump back to the conversation, but I want to get this point in before I forget about it. So we're talking about playoff formats, right? Briefly, like that's always the conversation. An interesting point that came up that helps the conversation, doesn't help the conversation, all depends on how you interpret it. Chastain made a point and said that they had a terrible summer, right? And I think admittedly so. They had a terrible summer. That was playoff points that they missed out on, regular points that they missed out on, right? Could have put them in a whole different situation if they were to performed in the summer. So we talk
Yep.
about season long performances and everything like that. That applied in this situation. If we want to jump to the Xfinity race, Austin Hill got eliminated by 21 points in the playoffs, right?
Yep.
That penalty that he got from Watkins Glen for intentionally wrecking Eric Amarola was 21 points.
Bingo. Eliminated himself.
Yeah, you have to execute the entire season because that 1 point could matter.
Yep.
So,
And I love this point because this will tie right into the other point. Got to execute the entire season, followed by you got to execute on ovals.
which
Oh,
I know which point you're getting at here. So,
And
go ahead and
let's
say it.
just dive right in. We had some interesting, just I don't know, back and forth in our group chat here. I cannot comprehend, partially because I would have been 8 for 8 in my playoff bracket challenge. But this exact scenario that we've been literally banging the drum about since he's got himself into the playoffs and his wins. What have we been saying since July? Dude's just got to get to the round of 8 or the round of 12 and get to the Roval, and he's in the round of 8.
And look at what almost played out. Yep.
It's a story of what could have been.
I just can't comprehend that. And this, I don't know. This ties into the fact of our tire changer says he's doing what he's hired to do. And I shouldn't say strong. Well,
You
yeah,
get my point.
Yeah, but I'll disagree.
Sure.
And my counterpoint was, do you want to be the Detroit Lions or the Green Bay Packers and win the NFC North every year? And then you get to the playoffs and it's like, Jordan Love, it's all right if you play like shite because, we're paying you $55 million a year, but hey, you're doing your job. And I just maybe we're a little bit hard on him, first full year, Cup Series racing. But somebody just explained to me how we got ourselves in this situation.
It comes down to the execution part again, right?
Like,
you had 3 races. You knew for SVG's team, right? Both driver and team, that those 3 races were going to be their biggest 3 races that they needed to absolutely perform, right? And I'm going to go back here because I need to figure this out.
There wasn't no rugby kick going on in the round of 12.
Well, and even then, you're correct, but it was also the fact that you knew you had to get out of that with at least a fighting chance, right?
Yeah.
And he goes through that round. Darlington, Gateway, and Bristol. I gotta figure out what freaking column I'm looking at here. Starts out that first race of the playoffs, 32nd. Massive hole to come out of. 25th at Worldwide Technology, 26th at Bristol, right? Definitely not helping his case. Finally gets a top 10 at Kansas. But then, again, obviously wins this. So, again, you got to perform. You got to have an all-around driver that can win on any given week if you're going to fight for a championship. Is it great that I'm sure Trackhouse is super happy about having a driver with 5 wins on the year and that's going to attract sponsors in, and like, all right, I have my 6 races that I'm going to be having sponsors fighting for that hood, right? And I'm going to have a very good chance of being Victor Lane in 2 of those 6 races. But Cam, like to your point, where are we on the ovals?
And I guess and we're being a little bit. I don't know. I could see you could argue the point too. Like, hey, maybe we are being a little bit hard on him. This is his first full year, um, running the entire Cup schedule, and he's, so to speak, a rookie, and you can't. I don't know. Yes, you're hired to win, but like with an NFL quarterback that's a rookie, it's like, all right, let's compete. But there's stages and phases to getting better and learning and developing. And so I guess I'm just coming at it from the point of like, dude was second or had the most wins at one point in the year, and it just struggled to wrap my brain around how we got to this point.
And
Because we literally played this scenario out for the last how many months? SVG is doing great, winning all these races.
yep.
All he's got to do is just sneak through the round of 16, get to the round of 12, and get a track that we have to go right on, and you'll be good.
And
And
honest
now we just sit here and say, what should have been?
and honestly, he set himself up super good based on the buffer that he had going into that. It was what, 25 or something to the good.
It was a lot.
It was a lot, right? Gave himself a buffer, but just man, that Darlington race just you want to talk about as Colin would say, a shot in the nads. Like, brother.
Yep.
I don't know.
I
Again,
just
there's some growth and development that needs to happen, but
100%. But we
just
also got to remember he's a rookie.
yeah, and I don't know. When he does figure out an oval, look the what out, because
he'll be dangerous. Yeah.
I mean he'll be a weapon, because I mean, did he win every single road course that we went to this year?
Lost out on Circuit of the Americas.
Okay, probably because of mechanical issue.
I think it was a strategy call on that one.
Either way, um, dude, if he just gets somewhat better on ovals, like boy oh boy, this is going to be a problem.
Yep.
Um, so we do this I guess every round, right? And I think we're pretty much at it here at this point as well. So we talked going back. I know we're jumping around, but now going back to that top 4 here, right? We made our picks at the beginning of the playoffs, which for reference, let me pull it up here. Um, I think me and Cam had the same picks. We Larson, Byron, Blaney, and Bell. Kellen, you were different. You had Blaney, Bell, Byron, Logano, which, buddy, that Logano pick is sneakily good for you right now. So we're still in the running. How are we feeling about our picks going into this round now?
I'm concerned about my champ.
Who your champ was Byron.
I am concerned about the 24 camp right now.
For the record, I also had Byron. Cam, you had Bell as your champ.
I am concerned right now. It's not full panic if we come out of Vegas and he runs 8th, 9th, 10th at Vegas, then it's the red button because you got 2 wild card racetracks to finish the round. But if they do not show speed off the trailer at Vegas,
Ooh.
concern level is sky high.
Quick break here. Bird game's on. Top of the first, Cubs just hit a 3-run home run. So
They did that yesterday.
just putting that out there. But all right, back to our regularly scheduled program. Um,
Philly's
I
just got.
so is it just me or does Hendrick feel like they've been kind of not the Hendrick that we're used to seeing?
Yeah, they're kind of putzing around right now. That's not the right way to say it, but they don't have the speed they should.
And
You know,
unfortunately, to your point, like if they don't do it this at Vegas this weekend, boy, I'm not comfortable if I'm in that shop.
I mean, you could potentially argue that their hottest driver right now is the 9.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't disagree with that. Who do you think is the hottest driver out of this camp? Like Hamlin's obviously one in the playoffs. Blaney's one in the playoffs. Larson and Byron, obviously part of that Hendrick camp. Bell, he's just kind of hung around. Briscoe's, I guess, scraping by, and Logano's lucking in. Like out of those guys right now, like who's our championship favorite? Like it's kind of a hard decision, isn't it?
Dude,
I
you got
don't.
a really group of really good 8 drivers, but like you said, nobody's just like separated themselves. Like, hey,
Right.
this is the
Well, this
clear
is
cut. This
perfect for what
guy's
we want, though. This is what we want. We want. I don't. I don't want to go into these last couple races of the year with the leader being 40 points to good, and it means nothing.
Like Corey Heim would
Wish
be in
your 1 seed right now is 8 points to the good. I wish the buffer was about 2.
right.
I want it to be tighter than 8.
You want it to be 4-3, 2-1.
Correct.
And
It's
then
not
one, two,
close
three,
enough
and
for my
four going
liking
the
right
other
now.
way.
Yeah. My championship favorite right now, you're going to laugh at me because I'm going to tell you this. It's probably the 11 right now.
I'm not batting an eye at that. Like I think he's had probably the best performance.
Blaney will find his way into the Final Four because that's what he does.
I'm not 100% confident in that, but
He will,
I
though. He
I
will.
oh sure.
Byron will be hopefully okay at Vegas. And then Hendrick is usually pretty decent at Martinsville, but I don't know that they're going to be able to fend off Blaney.
Which again, 2 years in a row with that.
I don't know, probably Denny right now if I had to guess, but it's the same question. Is it this year? Is it next year? Is it the year after that? Is he
Is
done
this
driving?
the year? Yep.
I don't know. You could argue the 11 is the car to beat right now.
Well, all right. So let me do this here.
And he's only
Oh,
good. He racks out 1 race and he's in the negatives.
yep. So what are we at? It's Vegas. Oh, it's Vegas, Dega, Martinsville, which obviously Dega's crapshoot. So I'm not even gonna look at that one, right? Last year at Vegas in this race, he finished eighth. And then at Martinsville in that race last year, he finished fifth. So he's setting himself up for 2 top 10 runs. Looking at Martinsville, just because I'm at it here, Elliott was second, Larson was third at Martinsville, behind Blake.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'd have to be on that same point with yes. I feel like Hamlin's kind of that guy that everybody's looking at, but I hate to be the homer, but I think Blaney's again, he's setting himself up to sneak in, I guess you could say, kind of be that quiet one. Cam, I don't know what your thoughts are.
I guess, yeah, like you said, I don't feel like anybody's, just separated themselves and it's like, hey, this is the clear cut leader of the pack. Um, which that's what everybody wants, I guess. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess I would say Denny. I think Denny. But in my heart, like I'm one of my well, my champion pick is currently below the cut line. So um not panic mode really at all, but I don't know. It's just like it's sitting there for somebody for the taking and somebody's just got to do it. And
He's just wide open race right now.
yeah, literally.
But and
Who are you most concerned about?
if I'm looking at most concerned, obviously I'd be looking at one of the top four. If I'm looking at one of the top four, it's probably Byron.
Yep. We rung him out a couple weeks ago, and then he won a race. I don't know. The 9 is kind of in a weird spot. Hasn't been great on ovals, but wins a race, and
I could see Talladega being that race for him.
well, I mean, Cody Ware could win that race too.
Sure.
I'm just saying.
No, I hear you. Like, I don't know. Obviously, I think there's no point in changing our picks because obviously we locked those in. We're gonna stick to our guns. So there's no point in like doing the
Yeah.
whole
No, it's just a matter of how much concern do you have.
right. And I feel like that's gonna be a conversation we're gonna revisit each week. So
Yeah, and this Vegas race is going to be a pretty big telltale in terms of setting yourself up for that. Because if any one of those 8 win that, it's going to shake the whole thing up from top to bottom.
oh man. Which I just hope Blaney can make it through practice because he did it last year. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, you're talking bad omens already.
Yeah.
Sounds like a guy that's nervous.
I mean, it's the round of 8. Who wouldn't be?
True. True story.
If you're not nervous, you're not doing it right.
Yeah. Pressure's a privilege.
So, all right. Any final thoughts here, fellas, before we dive into some news?
No, she's going to be wild.
Yeah, you can't ask for much more. I think the old stock is up and to the right for people that love this playoff format. Hard to argue that this is. It's hard to argue that there's something better than what we currently have. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, let's dive into news here. And I mean, we're going to be all over the place on this, but again, I'm going to try and do this before I cut out here. So, if I skip something, apologies. We'll go from there. So, starting out here, KCP Racing and Corey Eliason are teaming up to finish out the World Outlaw Sprint Car season. KCP is notably that 18 that Gio Scelzi was running, and that Emerson Axum temporarily took over as they kind of figured things out. So Corey Eliason gonna run that out, and then Emerson Axum finishing out the year. I forget with who, but it was whoever he was with before he jumped into that 18 car. So back to his normal ride. Um, I actually didn't see this one, so I might rely on you guys a little bit. But NASCAR has developed a back to roots marketing campaign. Obviously, this is notably after NASCAR hired Night Advisory for their marketing. With a campaign with the tagline "Hell yeah!" per Adam Stern. It's race as the racing series prepares its branding efforts 26, trying to reconnect with blue collar fans. You're, you're
yeah.
literally scratching your head there on that one.
Yeah, I'm scratching my brain as much as everybody else is on that. So,
Yep.
between hell yeah and the Riz, see if this pays off.
I guess it's time will tell.
He's
This
Yep.
is kind of a double dipper, or actually, this is really gonna be three, as this really revolves Shark Racing, which boy, they've kind of a rough week, some highs, but a rough week as well. So, first off, Shark Racing released Kyle Pruitt from his crew chiefing duties on the 1S. That was with Ashton Torgerson, or
Yep.
yep, Ashton Torgerson. Um, so they'll be running just kind of a man down for the rest of the year. Um, Also reports that Ashton Torgerson will return to the Shark Racing camp for next year in 2026. Um, it is questionable though whether it's going to be with the high limit or World Outlaws, so that is yet to be determined. And then the final point with Shark Racing and Saturn News, Bobby Allen, team owner, famous for just doing things his own way. passed away this morning as well.
Yep, for sure.
So
Yeah, damn. All right, well, let's jump into some of the other random news that we came across this week. I actually kind of got a lot of the asphalt news, to be frank. Five Flag Speedway, as we start to come down to this time of the year, they've announced that after a multi-team and multi-chassis testing in September, the official tire of the Snowball Derby and the Snowflake 100 will be the F45 Star that will be run on all four corners of the race car. So, one note with this, if you follow Five Flags, this is a different tire than what they had run for the Blizzard Series races and the Alan Turner races that were run at Five Flags. So, announced the tire different than what teams have been previously running there all year. So that will be interesting to see what comes of that in terms of Snowball Weekend.
now they were running, remind me, and I think I'm right in this. They were running the ST1s and twos the
I
entire year,
believe
weren't
so.
they?
I
Which
believe so, yeah. Which
that
was kind of,
tire's been a lot of conversations.
yeah, for sure. So they're going to the F45s. NASCAR comes out with the fine for $50,000 for Carson Hocevar, termed NASCAR member conduct behavioral infraction. And they kind of found the video to a certain degree and posted it. But basically, long and short of it, tow truck was trying to hook up to him. Safety workers are standing around the car. He basically stomped on the throttle, trying to rejoin the field while there were a safety crew and or the tow truck around the race car. So NASCAR did not take kindly to that with the safety crew around him. In crew chief news, talking about Kyle Busch, Andy Streeter will take over the crew chiefing role for him for the remainder of the season. He started that role at the Roval. Randall Burnett, who was his crew chief, most notably moving to Trackhouse with Zillage for next year, he remains at RCR for the remainder of the season, just in a support role, which they did not specify. So, still with the organization, just not calling the shots for the 8 anymore. In positive news in the courts or in the legal system in the world of racing, the state of North Carolina passes House Bill 926, which safeguards motorsports racetracks from nuanced complaints filed by nearby property owners. And this bill is titled "Protect the Right to Race." Basically, it's long and short of it is if somebody moves in next to a racetrack and they piss someone about the noise or whatever, the complaint will not be dealt with at all, and that the racetrack has the right to do so. This protects North Carolina's $3.82 billion motorsports industry. So when we talk about the hub of racing being North Carolina, they are now protected by
Similar
the law.
to the Iowa law that was passed, I think, earlier this year.
Yep, that one passed early in the spring, I believe. So
Yeah.
50, we got 48 more states to go.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about the Brewers. They just had a 3-run home run, tie it up.
Dude, they gave up a home run like leadoff batter yesterday, and then they proceeded to score like 4 runs in the first inning. So
Yeah, we're all tied up again. Bottom of the first.
told you. Let's hop into some other news here. Got a mixed bag. Per Bob Pockris, the Ram trucks in the Truck Series will run the common Aylmore engine. Still waiting for official driver announcements from that camp, correct?
Yep.
Which, ironically, we're getting to, about a month from now, you could start hearing some silly season stuff. I would think we would have some of that news next month and a half or so. So, next one here, Kevin Kidd, former crew chief and competition director, will serve as North American Motorsports competition director. Kidd will lead Ram's entry into the NASCAR Truck Series. So, Kevin Kidd gets a nod for that job. Some dirt super late model Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series announces an expansion to speed weeks to 4 nights with Swainsboro and Needmore. So HDF continues to build that regional series and do some cool things down there. So getting 2 extra nights of racing or 4 nights total with Speed Week. So, and then this was another dirt late model, super late model news this past weekend that was kind of sneakily just let out into the world. Skyline Motorsports and Tyler Bruning quietly rolled out the AK Racing chassis this past weekend, which was rumored to be a part of the split with Mike Marlar. So, depending what you've heard, that either confirms or denies rumors. So, we just give you the information and then we let you make the final decision. So, kind of mixed bag of some wild news from around many disciplines of racing there for me.
All right. Couple of topics we'll hear here. Obviously, is really prestigious and famed Wheelman of the Week award. We got 4 nominees this week. I guess I'll take the first one, and I'll let you guys kind of fight over the next ones. Jacob Gady, he had himself a hell of a weekend. I think he won one of the late model features, won the track championship at La Crosse, won the Big 8 feature, um, and then yeah, did that. And obviously, that was coming off of his second national championship for the NASCAR late model. So second week in a row, he's been nominated for a Wheelman of the Week. Now it's just time for race wins.
Yeah, these middle two here, as we mentioned, kind of tied together. Time just fifth, Oktoberfest 200 time late this year, and then Casey Johnson finishes third, so loses the battle but wins the war. Collects his 4th Midwest Tour title.
Van Gogh, you getting some wicked feed from him or no? Is that just
I
me?
did get some, yeah.
All right, just confirming that. And then I'll take the 4th and final nominee. We talked about it here. We talked about him in depth. Any racetrack that goes right, he's going to win. And so our 4th nominee for this week is SVG. Winning at the Roval by, I think it was gap was, I want to say 17, 18 seconds.
Yeah, something like that.
So just taking the field to school. And once again proves he is a one-trick pony on the old road course. So those are our 4 nominees, and we'll go from here. Cast your electronic ballot.
Oh, so we got a Casey Johnson vote from Kellen.
Yep.
Cam, who are you going with? Or do you want me to shoot mine out?
Well, I'll shoot mine out. I was going to go Ty Majeski.
Oh boy, we got a conundrum here because I was gonna go with Jacob Gady.
Been trying all year to give it to a Midwest guy, and now all of a sudden we can't decide on one. Oh, I've been trying to give it to a Midwest guy. I keep getting outvoted weekly.
Do we gotta do a random generator on this one, or?
I mean, my thought process was I think the Majeski thing would have been the most predictable. Is it his 5th and is it cool? Yes, it's the most predictable.
Right.
Johnson didn't win the race, but he won the war. Gady just put together an absolute stellar season. I mean, I feel like we can just eliminate SVG.
Correct.
Are you making a wheel or what?
I am actually.
Just make a wheel and spin it 3 times and see if you get 2 of the same answers. I mean,
Should I share this just so I'm not cheating this?
hold on, let me allow you to share your screen. Okay, go ahead.
Let's see here, and then that's the one that I want to share. All right, you guys good there?
Yeah, fire away.
Oh,
This is so bad we've gotten to this one. Yeah, we got a Johnson.
are we doing another one?
You might as well spin it 3 times and see what you come up with.
All right, so we got Johnson for 1.
We got Johnson for 2.
Well, he's gonna get majority here, so I think we're gonna do Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so. Again, like in reality, we could we could give it to any of the three of them. Really, you could split it up and go Cole if you had to do it that way. So, gonna get us back to our regular
I'm
program.
trying to. My thing's not working here.
Chat. So
I might have to leave and come back story here.
you got internet problems. Kellen's got audio problems.
Yeah,
Kel,
I'm gonna check out.
Kel,
I'll check back in.
Kel, you take over the screen sharing.
Yeah, all right.
Can you do it?
Take it back and end it.
I'm trying.
Otherwise, I'll just do this.
Holy boys, we are in shambles. Hold on. Jesus.
Old green guy's got us mixed up again, and his picture's now black.
dude Rex a group chat. Just oh my god, you guys.
There we go. Now we got two of them. Oh, the more the merrier.
Yep, for sure.
Can you send that other one to the ether?
All right. I think I'm back.
Yeah, we got two of you now.
Oh boy.
Oh, here we are. Yep, now. Yeah, now we're back.
Yes.
Christ, you guys. Good thing we like racing because computers are not our forte. So let's talk schedule quick and then we'll make a few race picks. Schedule posted.
Did you guys mention champs at all or no?
Oh, no, not series champions, no.
All right, let me do this here real quick. So obviously, yes, we crowned a few champions. We tried to touch on a few of them as they happened, but we had a lot, or I shouldn't say a few. Starting with the Mid-Am Series, Bailey Oktoberfest. Scotty Gardner gets his second championship, it looks like.
Yep.
In the Mid-Am Series. Casey Johnson, obviously we mentioned before, gets championship number 4 for the Midwest Tour. Randy Sargent wins the Big 8 Late Models Championship. Got a little iffy there for him. And then Jason Fager won the Mars Super Late Models Series Championship.
Yeah, for sure.
So
now talking about that schedule.
Yes, now we can talk about the schedule. Yeah, schedules are posted. I guess if we're just gonna touch on a couple here real quick, I think the one that, and I want to make sure I'm checking this out right here. I think the one that I'm looking out for is that USAC race at Lawrenceburg.
Yep, that will be solid. Kind of a couple that I'm keeping my eye on. Blue Gray weekend, Blue Gray 100 for Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series. That is their championship weekend, so they will determine a champion. And then ASA Stars National Tour back in action, chasing a rifle at the Winchester 400 at Winchester Speedway. Those are a couple I'm keeping an eye on.
I'm keeping an eye on the Arkham Nards West. Racing at the Bull Ring. So I will definitely be locked into that, along with the Cars Tour West. So those are two I'm keeping my eyes on. Outside of that,
Say, I feel like you're a Vegas boy this weekend.
that's really all I'm watching this weekend. Just Arkham Nards West and the Cars Tour. So I'm pretty sure sweet weekend for me.
Cup Series is out at Vegas, if you forgot that.
Yes.
Cup Series at Vegas, High Limits at Lakeside, World Outlaws Late Models winding down at Boot Hill, Sprint Car World Outlaw Sprint Cars at Lincoln. Plenty of action. So,
yep.
All right. I suppose we can make these damned old race picks, huh?
Yep.
So obviously we're at Vegas. If it means anything, we did fairly well on all of our picks. Each of us had the top 3 positions in the Midwest Tour race. We also had the top 3 positions of the Cup race. So unfortunately for Kellen, he finished third last week, but he was last out of all of us.
Yeah, my Midwest Tour picks finished second and eighth, and my freaking pick for the Cup race finished third.
Yep.
And I get to go first.
Yep.
Yeah, speaking of the guy I picked last week, I'll take him again. Give me Christopher Bell.
Damn it. That was my championship pick that I was going to go with.
Oh, Cam, you're second here.
Give me Larson.
Damn it. Oh, now you're making me think.
Blame it on Killen.
God, I don't know.
Lots of options.
I guess. Let me go back to this one real quick.
A lot of guys open.
I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to take Byron.
Perfect. There you have it. Good luck.
I think we're gonna need it.
Let's rock and roll.
Whatever way you look at it. Race pick points. I mean, I think Cam's damn near running away with it here. He's got 1653. I'm back, what, 114 points, whatever that math is, 1539. Kellen, 1387. I mean, yeah.
I got the boat anchor wrapped up.
Not quite fourth at a 3-man race, but
Yep.
oofed. So, no, any final thoughts here, fellows, before we sign off for the evening?
Action-packed episode.
Oh, man.
Jam-packed. Jam-packed.
A lot of racing was discussed.
Yes. A lot of racing discussed. And again, I think we're going to have a lot of discussions about racing here in the coming weeks as well. So obviously be sure to tune in to all those races. It's getting towards the end of the season, both for the National League Touring Series, whether it's sprint cars, late models, NASCAR, but also for the tracks as well. Obviously, we've got, I guess for lack of a better term, one more race up here, here in the Midwest before everything shuts down for the season. And I'm sure a lot of other tracks are going to be the same way. So try and hit up those season championships before they close down for the year. Again, good opportunity to get out, and again, be sure to tune in to the races on TV if you can't attend as well. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, check out our social medias as well. Got a little bit of a meme gang going on here. Hot takes or not, that's up for interpretation. But obviously comment as well. Always like to hear from you guys and your guys' opinion, and love to start a conversation. So, yeah, be sure to check those out. But until then, we'll see you on next week's episode of the Tuesday Track Talk.